Let's get into Black's new album. Now, when I first turned on Black's new album, because albums come out. Well, Black is for those that don't know, Black is an R&B artist, and it's spelled with a 6 and LACK, so it's spelled like 6LACK, but it's pronounced Black. So that's very confusing in its own right for new people trying to get into this artist, walking around calling him 6LACK. But he's a really good R&B musician, and he's been around for a while. I don't know how long, but he's definitely been around for a while, as I've always been a huge fan of his. And just some of the songs that he's made, like Problems. If you look at Problems, that's one of my favorite songs from him. But this is not about Problems. This is about his new album called 6-Piece Hot EP. Came out June 22nd, 2020. 6 songs, 18 minutes. So, as you can see, or as you can tell, he kept his album pretty concise and definitely did not overfill the album with songs as most artists are told to do by the label to make more money. So I think Black is showing his creative control, because being on Interscope, which he's on Interscope, these records are definitely going to get promoted and trying to be pushed into billboards. But for him to only have 6 songs on his EP is a pretty big risk. But most of his albums are pretty short. Like his last album, I think was East Atlanta Love Letter, and I'm pretty sure that was like not even that long either. Like I think it was 40 to 50 minutes long. I don't think it was that long. I know it was like 14 songs, but I don't know how long it was. Minutes wise, I don't know how long it was. But 6-Piece Hot EP, which is his new album out right now, is 18 minutes. The songs are really good in my opinion. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's his best showing. I liked his previous albums a little bit more, but for his new album, some of the songs that I took away from it is pretty nice, if I would say so myself, because I really like listening to artists who kind of bring something new to the table. And I think he definitely did with one of his songs called Float. That's like I think it's like the 3rd track off of the album, and I'm gonna play a little bit for you right now, the clean version, of course. But here you can listen to Black's Float from his new album 6-Piece Hot. Here you go right now. So as you heard right there, that was Black's Float from the new album. That was the 3rd track off of the new album. And I just like that song because it's really just talking about him getting through life and just trying to stay, above the problems that's coming in throughout his life. And, nothing too deep, just something a little. I like the personal songs, which I think is one of the big reasons why Drake is the biggest artist in the world, because he's more personable and puts words into his songs that mean something, like you could take away, you could relate to it yourself. So let's get into another one. Album was very short, but he managed to get one of the hottest artists in the game right now on the song, which is Lil Baby. So you can hear his voice, you can hear his verse a little bit right here. So you can hear that Lil Baby had to get in this album a little bit and drop a little verse. That was just a little snippet from his verse. Of course, he goes on to drop a 8 or 16, I'm not sure, but his verse was really good on Black's new album, and that song was Know My Rights featuring Lil Baby. So if you want to look that up for yourself, the last little song I liked from this album, it's 6 songs, so it's really like I really like 3 to 4 of them, so that's not bad. And only reason I don't listen to the outro like over and over like I do these 3 to 4 songs is because like it's kind of a slower pace and it's like ending the album. So for me, it didn't have that much too much replay value, and the second song really didn't do too much for me. It was just a lead up into Float, because Float was one of the singles before the new album actually came out. So Long Nights was a good song, but compared to these other songs, it just doesn't like compare. And of course, you heard the song that I played at the beginning of the podcast. Like that song is the best song on this album, in my opinion. And Elephant in the Room just definitely captivated what I was about to call him 6LACK myself, what Black brings to the table, because he's not just a regular artist. He always switches up the sound and brings his own little flair to what the norm is, because a lot of people, like rappers and singers, be like, oh, they sound the same, or 3 or 4 people sound the same, I can't tell who is which one is which. But with Black's sound, you could definitely tell it's him. So we're gonna get into the track he started off the album with, called ATL Freestyle, and we're gonna I'm gonna show you. You can listen to a little snippet right here. So as you can tell, he was definitely bringing it for the first track with ATL Freestyle, and he was trying to set the tone for this album, which I think he accomplished on that front. Came out pretty solid with a nice flow in the pocket, and switched it up a little bit towards the end of the song. So that's one of the things I like about him, is he doesn't just do the same flow throughout each song, because I'm all about switching up the flow, because you switch up the flow makes the song more concise, because people will mentally break down each part of the song by the flow you use. And if that doesn't make sense to you, just like listen to your favorite song and think of why you like that song. Like, you probably in your mind break up the song into different pieces, and that's how artists get the format to make songs. That's why certain pop songs have chorus, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, and then that's it. Usually the chorus only goes 3 times. But anyways, let me not get too deep into that. People think I'm nerding out on hip hop. But yeah, Black's new album was really well thought out and was really well made, because for those that don't know, he has a little beef with Party Next Door right now, and Party Next Door dropped a really good album. I mean, he had Drake and Rihanna on it. Like, who ever, like, when's the last time you seen Drake and Rihanna on the same album? Now, not on the same track, but the same album. So he got 2 songs off of those 2 icons. So Party Next Door definitely came with it this year, and for Black to come the same year, it just really makes me I can't wait for Kendrick and Drake to drop their albums that are supposedly supposed to come out this year. I think Party Next Door and Black is like the like in a UFC event, when there's like the main event and the sidecars. I think Black versus Party Next Door was a great sidecar fight. And let me know who won that. Which album do you think is better? Personally, I will probably go with Party Next Door, just because I know what Black can do with albums, and this is more of an EP, so I don't think it's fair to even compare it to Parties. But if I asked myself the question, which projects did I like this year, coming from Black and coming from Party Next Door, I would definitely have to go with Party Next Door, because Party Next Door came with some heat. Like his song, I think it's called Savage. Oh my gosh, like you play Savage, and that song is just never ending fire. Never. Like, the things he says on that record is just you just understand what he's going through. But anyways, we're talking about Black right now. I got into Party Next Door. That's probably why they had beef. Every time I bring up Black, you have to bring up Party Next Door, and vice versa. But yeah, that's what I thought of the album. The album was really great, concise, and really took its time into making because the thing about making the album is, like, if you're gonna make it short, you might as well make it really good. Like, imagine having 6 songs and people only like 1 or 2 out of the whole 6. And for me, I basically like the whole EP. It was just 4 songs that I have on replay to this day. And so, and for those that weren't listening, those my 4 songs from that EP was Elephant in the Room, Float, ATL Freestyle, and what was the other one? Know My Rights, featuring Lil Baby. Yeah, I think that was the 4th one. So, because I did not think Lil Baby been hopping on a lot of new artist tracks. Like, I mean, young NBA YoungBoy is not new, but Lil Baby is compared to him. And they did a song together for the Fast and Furious new movie, so that's huge for them just to come together. Because sometimes rappers will blow up and just not collab with anybody else up and coming because like label issues. And I don't believe Baby. I can't say 100%, but I don't believe Young Boy and Lil Baby's on the same label. For Lil Baby to pull that off for Atlantic is definitely a huge. It's definitely a huge move because Young Boy doesn't even I don't even think like he does good streaming on like he doesn't do good streaming on Spotify and stuff like that. Like he does well for like average artists, but on YouTube is really where he makes all his money. So that's great to see Lil Baby collab with him, and it's just nice to see those type of people. Yeah, so I think Young Boy's he may be independent. Never Broke Again LLC. That's crazy. So he might be independent. That'd be crazy if Young Boy actually owns his masters. But anyways, switching it up a little bit. That's how I thought. That's how I felt about Black's album. Let me know what you thought about Black's album, and also if you're enjoying the show, make sure to share this with your friend, neighbor, dog, or just that person across the street hating on Party Next Door because they love Black. So we're gonna switch it up.